JDM taking on Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. This is the thing that Islam did so well in beating him. All he has to do is drive this way, and it takes JDM off his post, and JDM is back on his back. And that was the key, honestly, to the victory for Islam, is keep taking JDM off his post. It felt like JDM's face was always grimacing. Even his coach said, get that look off your face. He looked defeated. I feel there's something wrong. I felt like he was not 100% in this fight. Once again, this is where Islam is good. He's got the hands tied up, blocking him. No fingers inside the glove, so he's not cheating. And there is Islam with his 2 belts with Khabib. What an amazing story, these guys. You're the most boring thing in the game. Those are strong words from Ilya Topuria. Hopefully one day we'll be able to get Ilya Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Welcome back to the channel. We have another breakdown for you. JDM taking on Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. We'll be going through the slides. Islam was able to make it look easy against JDM by just attacking his post, not allowing JDM to get off on his combinations. If you guys are wondering where I'm at, my setup looks different. I'm still in Japan, but I wanted to get this void breakdown for you guys because everybody's like, oh man, how did he do it? How did he do it? Don't worry, Mighty has got you. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe. Also, hit the bell to go live, and let's go through this these slides. Now, a lot of people thought Islam was going to be too small for 170, but he's actually a pretty big guy who makes 155. You know, he started taking creatine. He didn't have to lose a lot of muscle. And here's the tail of the tape right here. 29 versus 34, 5'11 versus 5'10, 170 versus 170, 73 to 70.5 inch reach advantage. So, I mean, everything, you know, besides the reach and the age is pretty much the only difference, you know. If JDM was like 6'2 versus 5'10, then I think he'd be a little bit too small, but they're pretty much the same size, to be honest with you. There's JDM, high, tight guard. He always gets in there with a high guard, super close inside the void. And Islam did a good job of just keeping him at bay and obviously attacking that Lele. We don't have that still. But what's going on, guys? This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. Now, Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports game played directly from your phone. It's very simple. Go to your app store, download Prize Picks. When you do that, use my promo code MIGHTY. If you are a new user, you play $5 and you get $50 instantly in your lineup. You have everything under the sun, from NFL, NBA, mixed martial arts, Valorant, CSGO, you name it, they got it. Just lock in those picks at the right place, which is Prize Picks. Now, shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. Now, let us get to the breakdown of Islam Makhachev taking on JDM. Both high guard, not too scared to get close to each other. And I felt JDM did a good job getting close to Islam, but not being able to do anything to Islam is where he came up short. And Islam was so good about always attacking that post. Each time JDM would try to get on his post and try to elevate himself and get to a different level, Islam would just take that post and put him back on his back. Here's the first takedown of the fight where Islam landed this leg kick, oh, not leg kick, the leg sweep. Obviously attacking this, he's basically taking him one way or the other. So he's taking him his head this way and this leg that way. So the table, he basically need 4 points of contact, or 3 points of contact, or 2 points of contact. He's taking it away. Typically, the table needs more than 2 points of contact. But beautiful sweep from Islam. And I knew that if Islam tried or attempted a takedown in the middle of the cage, he would succeed at doing it. Instead of, you know, when JDM usually defends his takedown, his back is against the cage, like Bilal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns. But even when those guys took him down in the middle of the cage, they were successful. So he was able to land that takedown in the middle of the octagon. And he landed right in guard. And that's where everything started to, you know, go downhill for JDM. Not the beginning of it, but I had a hard time. Okay, right here, boom. That's what I was talking about. He's attacking the post right now, right? So, and this is almost kind of the start of the octopus guard. So JDM is using his hand to post away from Islam Makhachev, and here is that post. Now, Islam recognizes that, and all he has to do is drive his weight this way, and it takes JDM off his post. And there's another post, but this post isn't really bearing all JDM's weight. It's probably bearing maybe 35%. But the rest is right here. This is the thing that Islam did so well at beating him. All he has to do is drive this way, and it takes JDM off his post, and JDM is back on his back. And that was the key, honestly, to the victory for Islam is keep taking JDM off his post, because I think JDM thought that if Islam takes me down, he's going to use a lot of effort to keep me here. And if he does, when I get back to my feet, I'll put hands on him. He'll be exhausted. And that's not what happened. Islam was able to take him off his post, stay on top, be heavy, and wear down JDM. Let's go to the next slide. But this was the story of the fight is. When I was watching it, he kept on attacking that post over and over and over. Right here, once again, a scramble. There isn't really a post, but you see this right here of Islam. That's his post. Islam has this as a post, and he has his head as a post, which is giving him the opportunity to not let JDM out scramble him. JDM doesn't really have a post. He has his back to the canvas, but his posture is kind of broken because Islam's hips are higher than JDM. So this was a kind of like a scrambling attempt from JDM, but Islam was able to keep his points of contact on the ground and be able to shift his weight over to JDM. Just a high level grappling from Islam, to be honest with you. High level. And grappling isn't JDM's biggest thing. Here's a takedown from Islam. Once again, there's that post. He's posting right there. Hands are locked. JDM is going to go backwards. It felt like JDM's face was always grimacing. Always grimacing. Question mark. What happened here? Even his coach said, get that look off your face. He looked defeated. Hopefully we get a chance to see what was going through his mind during this fight, but he always looked defeated going into later in the rounds. But once again, beautiful takedown. Where is he at? No cage in sight in the middle of the octagon. He was always going to succeed. I think he succeeded in all his takedowns. JDM did stuff one, but JDM did a bad call where he went over the top and went on the back of Islam against the cage right there. And then this is Islam keeping his head above JDM's head, making JDM carry all his weight. JDM, one of the things, let me go back real quick. One of the things JDM could have done was, right now Islam has underhook and underhook. JDM could take his hands and pry his face away, create some type of frame to be able to scoop between us, and I get my knee shield in there and start attacking, you know, legs or just keeping him away. But he allowed Islam to win this battle of double under on the ground, which is a bad thing. And then the head pressure, turning his face away so he can't really get any movement from the spine. Leg kicks, you know, Islam was using all types of weapons. Leg kicks, push kicks, kicks up the middle, because JDM kind of stands up front, waits with his movement. And this is the high guard that JDM does. I like his high guard, but when he gets a high guard, he can't see. And he can't counter either. And there's Islam blocking him, making him blind. And then Islam would shoot underneath and succeed with the takedown. And I saw something the other day, earlier today, that Islam said his game plan was to take out JDM's leg with those calf kicks, and he did a good job doing it as well. But I wasn't really worried about that, because when you watch JDM fight, he can do work from southpaw and orthodox. So I wasn't too worried about him taking out his leg, but obviously it paid dividends. Once again, another takedown from Islam right in the middle of the octagon. No cage to help JDM defend the takedown. Simple. Head on the outside. Good. Once again, he lands. You know, the only thing that you could do in this position is accept that you got taken down. Butt scoot. Sorry, my arrows are bad. Butt scoop. Go to your back. Get your hands directly on his face and start creating distance. Start creating a frame to be able to give yourself a chance to get back on. But once again, the grimace on his face, I feel there's something wrong. I felt like he was not 100% in this fight. I could be wrong, but something tells me, man making a face like that all the time in all the fight, the whole fight, he was probably battling an injury. Once again, if you guys were here for the live stream, there's that post. There's that post. And what is Islam doing? Pushing him on that post. Same technique that JDM was using pushing a hand. He's pushing a hand to get on that post. And this is what you take out. You defeat that, you win it. And that's what Islam did. And there's his knee that's on the post as well. But this is 35, whatever's left is right here. 65. Math could be off, but I feel like it's right. That was the story of the fight. Fight JDM's post. Right there. Same image. We already saw this image today, but just realize that he's always attacking the post. JDM is so successful. Also, you had Craig Jonesy, the savior of jiu-jitsu in the division. Now, this was a success, and a lot of things that people have been talking about lately is fouls in mixed martial arts. People, foul in mixed martial arts, and nobody gets a point deducted away. So here's JDM. He's attacking the legs. He has, the Islam's leg, kicking him. Landing, heel kicks, kicking the face, which he can kick the body, just can't kick the face. What? This is probably the only position that he had like a good opportunity to actually attack the legs. But Islam is very versed in leg attacks because Sambo, and yeah, that's what this position. Right there. Now, did JDM have any success on the feet? Success meaning that he actually landed something that hurt Islam. That'll be a no. But he actually threw some kicks and threw some hands. And, Islam didn't really overreact. There's a beautiful high kick. Great technique from JDM. Hands are up high on balance. But just wasn't enough to get Islam away from him. Now, they were in here. I think it's like maybe second and third round. Once again, this is where Islam is good. He's got the hands tied up, blocking him, no fingers inside the glove, so he's not cheating, and trying to keep him pressed against the cage. This is where JDM succeeds in takedown defense, where he's usually always being able to defend a takedown. And then there's Habib guiding the young eagle to another belt, not a title defense. He's already had enough of those at lightweight. And then this is where he shot for a takedown, which I didn't mind this because you got to try something, right? He shoots for a takedown. Beautiful sprawl from Islam Makhachev, already attacking the head for a guillotine, and he did not succeed with this takedown. But I do like the fact that he did shoot for a takedown just to mix it up to keep Islam waiting. But Islam does this all day, every day, boys. And once again, beautiful picture. Whoever took this, attacking this post, always attacking this post. This is a good idea. Attack the post, and you see JDM is looking to post his hand on Islam's other hand so he can get back on his post and try to get back to his feet and create a scramble. But Islam was not having that shit, not one bit of it. Like, if you go back and watch all JDM's fights when he scrambles, look at how he posts. He's able to post and get back to his feet. Right there, and there's, whew, my ears itch. Right there is I don't even need this on right now. There is Islam holding him down, keeping him down on his back. Now let's look at this right here. JDM significant strikes, only landed 18 significant strikes. Crazy. Islam 30 significant strikes. Crazy in a 5-round fight. But here's the thing. Look at this. 19 minutes and 10 seconds of control time. So pretty much 40% of the fight, he was on top, controlling him, which is crazy. 50-45, 50-45, 50-45. Absolute crazy. 5-round, 5-5s, 50-45, all across. Dominance. No damage whatsoever for both guys. Besides JDM, he might have had an injury coming into the fight, which I like to think he did. You're the most boring thing in the game. I don't want to say he was the most boring thing in the game. Those are strong words from Ilya Deporia. Hopefully, there's a factor to it being a sport and being entertainment. Was it the most burner fight that everybody is going to go back and rewatch and like, man, like, am I going to go home and say, hey, dude, you need to watch this fight? No, I'm not. Like, I'm not going to tell Akaika to go watch this fight. That's my best friend. But if you want to learn from it to see how you can, take someone off the post, always out grappling somebody, keeping your weight on them, I would say definitely watch this fight. And hopefully one day we'll be able to get Arroyo versus Islam Makhachev. Both these guys have two different types of style. Arroyo is a guy who has knockout power, who can take a shot and can deliver a shot, and who can also grapple. Islam Makhachev is more of a surgeon, where I'm gonna get in there and figure out how I can beat you and make it look easy and not suffer any damage. And now both these guys are both double champs. In the old modern era where the UFC allowed people to become double champs, they're both double champs, but they both own this belt, which is the lightweight belt. All right, let's see. The reporter says, Jack needs an entire camp dedicated to just wrestling. What a disappointment of a champion. You should go to Georgian to learn something. Islam, you need something you can't train. Emotion. You're the most boring thing in this game. Every day, I'm more certain I put you to sleep. Like I said, guys, I just hope these guys get a chance to fight. Do I think Jack needs an entire camp dedicated to wrestling? I don't think so. I just think when you go against a guy, I've wrestled, not my whole life, but I've wrestled a lot. And, I know how to defend it. But when you're going against a guy who's made his living, his life off of, manhandling other man, it's kind of hard to just say I need to dedicate a whole camp to wrestling. But maybe I could be wrong. Arroyo is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world right now. Maybe he knows something I don't. But I just think Islam was just on a different level when it came to the wrestling. And JDM didn't have anything to answer for it. The GOAT and Islam Makhachev. Look at John Janko. Great guy. He got some good shots in with the Dylan Dennis behind the head. The GOAT and Islam Makhachev. You know what? The internet is undefeated. And there is Islam with his 2 belts with Khabib. What an amazing story, these guys. These guys are so good. They're got each other's back. And there he is. The new welterweight and lightweight champion of the world, Islam Makhachev, doing a great job to getting it done. But the biggest thing in this fight, if you guys have to take anything from it, is how Islam Makhachev was able to take JDM off his post. So guys, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and also hit the bell to go live, and we will see you guys at the next video. Peace.